Hey Virgo, so we're about to go ahead and get into your general reading. I am going to do a love reading for you a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and get into your general. Let's see what comes out. Virgo, I really wasn't going to use this deck. This is called the Art of Manifestation Oracle. I wasn't going to use it, but then for some odd reason, right at the last minute, right before I grabbed it and said, let's just see what cards come out. You have the new love card, and you have the release the past card. We're going to get into it. You know, Virgo, we've been seeing for a while the marriage energy for a lot of you. But before you can get to a marriage, you have to have a person. You have to start somewhere. So I like in your reading, I like the fact that there is a potential person. And usually with the new love, this makes me believe that there's going to be someone that you really, really are rocking with, someone that you are really, really interested in. But I'm going to go ahead and read the card and let's see what it says. It says the energy of new love is around you. Sometimes if we have been hurt within relationships, we retreat and we become afraid of being hurt again. It says this card brings a clear message that this is an indication of your readiness to embrace this new love. And I mean, I guess the beautiful part about this is that the release the past is here, right? So when we're talking about feelings of hurt, it's not the fact that you're talking about releasing a physical person. They may be already gone, but we're saying the emotional baggage, I always say emotional residue that is still within you when it comes down to a person, okay? Releasing the past does not mean that we forget though. And that's one thing that I like. I love the fact that the cards started off that way because it's not saying that you have to forget the bad things that occurred to you. Or the bad things that even happen. It's just basically saying that you make a personal choice to say no more. You know, I don't want this in my life. I don't want to allow this to dictate my future. That's basically what we're looking at. But we're going to go ahead and get some more cards here, Virgo. Let's see what comes out. All right, Virgo. So I went and pulled some tea leaf oracles. And of course, we'll get into it a little bit more with the tarot to find out what this really means. One of the cards that came out here, this was the first card that came out, and it says news is on the way. News could be equated to some type of phone conversation about a job. This could be, you know, you're waiting for someone to call you. Either way, it's always a good thing to see because it's like this could be something that you've been waiting for. I like when it comes out when people tell me that they've been applying for positions at work, and I'm like, they've been applying for different positions at their job or a new job, and I'm like, that's the first card that come out. I'm like, this looks good. We haven't even got into the tarot yet, but this looks really good. But it could be any kind of news, but I definitely see that there is some type of communication headed your way. Now, let's just say that you've been, you know, there's been problems that you've been dealing with. And Virgo, I already know we've talked about the problems. We've talked about it plenty of times, right? Like we definitely know. I like the fact that this card came out and it says this is only a temporary situation. Listen, I'm not going to go into details about all the problems that Virgo can have, all the different situations that we could experience, but it talks about it being only for a moment, and a lot of signs have been getting that card. This is reassurance. That's all it is, that like whatever you're going through right now, Virgo, it's not going to last forever. Okay, just letting you know that. You also had this card with candles. So let's just say that things are very uncertain. You have no idea how certain things are going to go, whether with a relationship, whether with your money, with your health, with your family. Here with candle, you had two cards. Let me just say this. I feel like these two can go together, but they can go together. You had one that says protected from negative forces beyond your control, and then you had candle. This is very much so a spiritually divine guided energy. So you don't have to have all the answers. You really don't. You are being protected, number one, and then you're also being led almost like spiritually. Someone like the spirit has your hand, God has your hand, and going to pull you in a certain direction. Isn't that comforting, right? So I wanted to make sure I say that because both of those are very spiritual cards. You may not know, okay, when it comes down to certain things. There are certain things that you may not be aware of or that you just feel so uncertain about. you will be shown the way. You're going to know exactly what to do, and you're going to go and proceed in that direction, okay, based on what we saw there with the candle and the cobweb. Your last card here, triumph over troubles and obstacles. I mean, it's good to hear, right? I always say that. It's like, it's good to hear that you're going to triumph over problems and obstacles, but it's like, oh my God, like, why is there always problems? Why is there always obstacles in the way? It doesn't mean that they're huge. It just means that things that you may experience in the future or things that you're experiencing now, right? This is what I was talking about, you being able to overcome. Because remember, we talked about problems that are only temporary, okay? And sometimes, 2 days could be too much, right? A week could be too much, depending on what you are experiencing. But again, it's just a reassurance card and just needing to stay persevered, okay, or to persevere, basically. Virgo. Okay, so let me show you. Remember, we talked about the uncertainty. So I pulled the card. One of the cards that came out was the Two of Swords. Remember, we already got the reassurance from Spirit that basically says that you will be shown the way. I mean, it can cause a lot of anxiety if you don't know what to do. Sometimes it's like being, trapped in a dark room. You're like, well, who's around? What's around? What's happening, right? And you can feel that way. So here with the Two of Swords, whatever you are experiencing, and again, she has the blindfold on her eyes, and it just could feel very overwhelming. But I love the fact that the clarity is coming. Now, you also had justice. Justice is the universe. I always say this. Universe correcting things. If you're having any court issues, and I've noticed this over the past year or so, right? That Virgo, with these cards in particular, okay, I kept seeing legal. Legal could be anything. It could be a ticket. It could be maybe a lawsuit, okay? The Justice card is a beautiful thing coming out because it's you winning. And it doesn't always mean that way with the Justice card. I can always tell, okay? So it talks about things, being in your favor. But the thing is, remember, I pulled the card. Did I pull it? Dang it. I think I may have. No, I did not. I just moved it. Remember, we talked about this card, triumph over troubles and obstacles. If you have a court date, if there's something dealing with the court system, this very much so looks like you're going to win. I always need other cards to kind of, show me what it's basically saying. Because you can't just look at the Justice card and think that you're going to win. It doesn't work that way. It lets me know that there's a problem possibly in the judicial system, or that you may have to go to court for something. But how are you going to fare? And so looking at the eagle is going to be in your favor. This could be family court, because the next card is what? The Ten of Cups. Sometimes the triumph is the fact that you get married. Sometimes the triumph is the fact that maybe if there's a relationship that isn't working, there's negotiations that you guys talk about within family court. Maybe it's something dealing with, not like a romantic situation, but it could be something dealing with your family. Okay. Inheritance, property, that type of stuff. Is something that I'm seeing here. Okay. Now, you also, at the bottom of the deck, you had the Queen of Wands. Now, out of all of these things that we talked about, the problems that you're facing, even though they're temporary, maybe, negative people, negative forces, and that could be such a big array of things, right? If we're talking about negativity, baby, you can have it from your work, you can have it from your family, you can have it from your neighbors, right? The very fact that it says that you're going to be protected, it's like, have confidence in that. Anytime I look at the Queen of Wands, it's like confidence. It's not just about the outer appearance being confident and beautiful. It's like being confident that the universe is actually going to protect you. But I like the fact that the Queen of Wands has this strut, okay? And I see that you guys, regardless of what's happening, I know, right? I know it could be a lot. You're going to come out on top, okay? You do have some people around you who really don't like you, okay? They really don't like you, because when I was shuffling the tarot deck, this card came out, and it came out before. Literally here with the club. We're going to get more into that possibly with your next tarot reading. I love you guys. Bye.